Sinestral. About 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. You'll see my left hand start to tremor in a few minutes. It was about a year into a cancer journey, and I had found that funny in cancer should come with a secretary. But it took me a while to find the funny in Parkinson's. So I went to YouTube, as you do, and typed in funny Parkinson's. I found a prank video where they'd set somebody up with Parkinson's at a grocery store checkout counter. Yeah, you can imagine. Big eyes on the customers as they were seeing their items stuttering across the barcode reader, wondering if they really were going to have to pay for it 3 or 4 times. There was also a comedian who'd gotten Parkinson's at 50 who decided to make a list of things that you could do better if you had Parkinson's. I thought that was the right attitude. So I started thinking of my tremor as a superpower. What could I do with a superpower like this? I could be a bartender, specializing in James Bond martinis. A lot of James Bond fans, shaken not stirred. What else could I do? I could work in a snow globe factory. Every morning I go in and make sure the snow still falls. What else could I do? I could make road signs. Curves ahead. I could work in a morgue. Every morning I go in and shake all the bodies, make sure they're still dead. So tonight I'd like to talk about lies parents tell. Germs, yeah. Tapioca, China. I named my stories so they're easier to remember. So germs. Now when I was growing up, we were all told, cough into your hands. There were posters everywhere. Don't just cough into the air because you'll be spreading germs all over the place. So cough into your hands. Cover your cough to control the germs. So that worked. That served me well until I had a granddaughter who was 3, and I took a picture of her coughing into her hands. And I showed her the picture, and I said, see, you're capturing all the germs in your hands. She was horrified. She said, you mean I'm getting germs in my hands every time I cough into them? I said, yeah. She was ahead of the experts, so a few years later figured out that we transmit colds by our hands, and what we should really be doing is washing our hands and coughing into our elbows. So unless you're a square dancer, cough into your elbow. So tapioca. The rule when I was growing up was you didn't have to eat everything on your plate, but you did have to try everything in case something was new, you had to try it. And that was fine, that seemed like a sensible rule. Until one night, my mother took a stand over tapioca. Now, I don't know what was going on in her life. We had moved a lot in the recent few years, and she was not allowed to experiment very much with food. My father said, you know what I like, just make it. But this time she decided to be creative and make tapioca. And so she said, you cannot leave the table until you finish your tapioca, which I thought was unfair for 2 reasons. It went against her own rule, and it was dessert. So everybody else finished their tapioca, left the table. I dumped mine in the trash. She never mentioned tapioca again. And to this day, I still cannot eat tapioca. So China. When I was growing up, children were told, eat everything on your plate. There are children starving in China. It's never made any sense to me. So if I ate everything on my plate, the children starving in China wouldn't get any extra food. If I didn't eat everything on my plate, who was going to take that extra food to the children in China? I don't know what the answer to that question was, but I just thought it was a stupid rule. Eventually I grew up. I went to China. There are no starving children in China anymore. And they didn't even thank me. That's all for tonight. Thank you very much.